Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Patricia here from Old School Lane and Manic Expression. This isn't a casual chats or anything like that, so don't worry, you're not missing anything. Casual chats will be coming back soon, as well as a new episode of Nick Jukebox. I just needed to mention this because this has just came out last night. Nickelodeon is considering doing a revival on the 1991 Nicktoon Rugrats. Ever since it was released as a marathon on the Super Bowl weekend, people have been going crazy for it. Millions of people tuned in and watched it. Ever since the 90s or all that, have shown it from time to time. People have been tweeting about it like crazy. And so it got the Nickelodeon executives thinking, maybe we should revive the show for the people who grew up with it. And then maybe it'll get the ratings back on, maybe it'll make Nickelodeon more relevant again, and maybe it'll be back again as the #1 kids network. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but a lot of people have been saying that they want to see new episodes of Rugrats. Like, for example, the chairman of Teen Nick, Nick Cannon, says that he wants to see Rugrats coming back. The Nickelodeon executive Marjorie Cohn have been saying that they're making plans of making new episodes right now. And as of last year, Arlene Klasky has quoted that her and her then husband, Gabor Chupo, who they both created Rugrats alongside with Paul Germain, they've said that they've been hearing from their fans on a regular basis. They have a big love for the shows, and it will be an honor for them to bring back Rugrats as well as the Wild Thornberrys. If it is true, if the revival of Rugrats is true, then expect to see the show back in its original form, and they will officially retcon All Grown Up. Everything that happened in All Grown Up will not happen. So that means that the whole storyline between, them growing up to being 10-year-olds, with Tommy being the photographer slash filmmaker and Dill being like the weird kid who loved aliens and was able to talk to dolphins, and Chucky being afraid of talking to girls, and Phil and Lil trying to, be their separate people, and, all that bullshit mess that happened throughout the few years that it did occur, it's going to be wiped clean. And that is a godsend, I must tell you that. It was a huge popular Nicktoon when it first came out, but for people who grew up with it, it was just a mess. Everything that was great about the original Rugrats was just gone. And I think Arlene Klasky and Gabor Chupo realized that, which is awesome. But when reading about this quote-unquote rumor of revival, it got me and Kevin thinking, would this revival of Rugrats be relevant for the kids of today? And the both of us came up with this answer. No, it would not. Kids wouldn't give two shits about Rugrats. The thing of it is that Rugrats was a cartoon that came out in the 90s. And from what we've experienced with revivals based on classic shows, most of them don't work. Take, for example, with Disney's brand spanking new Doug and Spike TV's Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon. Those came out and those were huge failures. And with a revival on Rugrats just relying on nostalgic for kids for the 90s and now worrying about the kids of today, it's not going to turn out well. In fact, it'll be a huge disaster. I don't want to sound mean, or I don't want to sound harsh to anybody who is excited about this, but very rarely revivals based on classic cartoons being successful is just not common. We've already seen great shows like, the new Ninja Turtles cartoons and My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Those have been successful because they went on a different direction. But from what I've been reading, they're relying on the nostalgic of, people growing up in the 90s to make people try to go back, and that is not right. The kids who are growing up today wouldn't even know about Rugrats. And, trying to introduce something like that would not connect with them. If they are going to revive Rugrats, they have to do something different. They have to be able to have something new and something fresh that people can be able to connect with. Something that'll be new for the kids, but something familiar to people who grew up with it. It can either be something completely out of the ordinary and unrecognizable, like when they released the Smurfs movie or the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie or Transformers. God, man, I don't even want to talk about it. Or it can play it way too safe, which, if you've already recalled from my reviews of the Nickelodeon game shows that had revivals, they didn't last very long. Double Dare lasted less than a year, and Wild and Crazy Kids 2002, it lasted less than 2 months. Seriously. And My Family's Got Guts didn't last very long either. It lasted less than a year as well, and nobody liked it. So this makes me a little bit concerned. And, for a lot of people who are claiming to say that, oh, I'm going to watch the revival of Rugrats by the time it's going to come out. Yes, you are. But are you going to stick around to it? Most likely you will not. Kevin actually brought this interesting conversation when he discussed about it. When people were excited about the revival of Beavis and Butthead, they watched a few of the episodes, but they didn't come back to watching the rest. The reason why was because Beavis and Butthead was perfect for the 90s. It was basically satirical of everything that was going on at the time. And, when it came out, it was 2011. People were on to different things, and that was one of the main reasons why Beavis and Butthead was canceled. The same thing is going to happen to Rugrats. We'll all watch a couple of the Rugrats revival new episodes. We're gonna be all thinking about our childhoods back in 1991. And then, as time goes on, we're not gonna watch the rest of it because, come on. If you were a kid in 1991, you're probably in either your mid to late 20s or even early 30s. You're not gonna care about watching Rugrats unless you're gonna be watching it with your kids. But unless, Arlene Klasky, Gabor Chupo, and maybe a good amount of the writers can be able to do something different to Rugrats, kids are not going to care less about it. It was something that came out in the 90s, and it's not something that would be relevant to kids today. I'm going to make you feel old when I say this, but Rugrats came out, over 20 years ago. Yeah, 20. Yeah, you found a gray hair on your head, didn't you? The point of the matter of it is that if they are going to do a Rugrats revival, unless they do something new, unless they do something different, it's going to be a huge disaster, just like it was with brand spanking new Doug and Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon. It's not going to work. Nickelodeon, if you want kids to come back to watching your network, you're supposed to do the following. Number 1, get new original content that doesn't suck. I know that, now you're realizing that the live action shows haven't been doing very well and you're going to stick closer to animation, but the animated shows that you are going to be releasing in 2013 are, Monsters vs. Aliens, the TV series, and you're going to have the TV show based on the Rabbits. Okay, once again, you're going into the bandwagon of making animated series based on DreamWorks movies, and then you're going to be making a TV series based on a bunch of annoying rabbits that nobody cares about. Come on, the rabbits are so early 2000s. Everybody's getting back into Rayman now. Why don't you make an animated series based on Rayman? Oh wait, I remember why. The last time that you made a TV series based on a video game, let's just say the less said about that, the better. I know you're probably going to be thinking of me as one of the millions of people who heard about the news and saying, oh my god, Rugrats is coming back, I'm so excited. I'm sorry, but we need to wake up and realize that the reality of it is that we're all going to be excited about this Rugrats revival if the rumors are true, and if it's really coming back. Sure, we'll be excited for a few minutes, and then afterwards, we're going to realize that we're adults now, and we need to get on with our lives. We'll catch it every once in a while when it becomes popular. It's just not relevant anymore. I mean, sure, I did say that the earlier episodes of Rugrats still hold up, but that's because it was something that came out in the 90s. If they try to revive Rugrats and don't do anything new to it, then let's just be honest, it's just going to be another attempt that Nickelodeon tried to do with capitalizing on something that people grew up with, and it'll end up to being a failure. Anyway, so that's my opinion on it. What do you think? Are you excited about Rugrats coming back? If the rumors are true, what would you like to see come back for Rugrats? Post it in the comments below. Until then, I've been Patricia from Old School Lane. I hope to see you soon. Take care.